items in this next map.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some TF2 swag on the line here. We have a giveaway competition that's going to be going on for this map. So if you can predict the overall damage done by the winning team, so whichever team manages to win here between BK and LBC, if you can accurately predict their overall damage that is shown on the logs and post that on the Team Fortress TV thread of the event, which Suyooo has nicely put in the chat for you all. If you, the person who is closest to the correct value will win the, let me just get it up, the professional killstreak kits that have been kindly provided to us by whitelist.tf and tf2pickup.net. Check those sites out as well. I imagine, because we have a few more viewers than usual, that we have some people on the stream who aren't familiar with competitive TF2 or don't play it as much. tf2pickup.net, a great place to try out TF2 if you have started playing 6v6 and are getting a little bit more comfortable with it, and whitelist.tf, a great site to be able to check out all the different unlocks that are used and familiarize yourself with stuff like that. So props to those guys for giving us those giveaways, and once again, it's the overall damage done by the winning team in this map, CP Granary. So get posting.
Don't rule out 5-0s at this point.
Yeah.
This
it might not
this
be a
first
30-minute game. Yeah.
This first mid is going to be huge for BK. Like, you can only imagine what they're feeling like in their heads at the moment. They need like something big, like at the start. Like, they need like a big mid or a big round. I mean, if you get a big mid on Granary, it could be a round, but they need something big, man. Big, big, big.
Should we do team comms first, mid?
Yeah, I'm feeling it, man.
You feeling it?
I'd love to. Unfortunately, I still am unable to link them, so we'll have to rely on Suyooo, I think, or somebody else, but we'll believe in the powers that be, and we'll just call it, and hopefully it'll happen.
I think Hui fixed the admin?
No, he tried to, but it didn't work.
Ooh. Oh.
So we're still relying on somebody else to do it. Maybe we can just have him sit in here and do it for us, but team comms would definitely be useful, I think, to be able to have a look at what's really going on, because I think a lot of it is going to be mental at this point as they go into the second map after a 3-0 loss.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, like, it's, you know, they're not like rushing into it. Even though they're all on the server and playing, there's a bit of a delay for the game. As for Frenchie's tote something, I'm not sure. Something, just replace what I just said with a slightly offensive joke.
I need to remind the people in chat who are spamming all of these damage numbers. It's not going to count if you put it in the Twitch chat. You will have to go to the Team Fortress TV thread, which is being linked repeatedly. So pop them in there, all of your predictions for the damage. Not in the Twitch chat, on teamfortress.tv, in that thread that's being linked. Please put them there. Stop spamming the Twitch chat with your numbers.
So where are you sitting? Are you feeling the BK comeback going into this bare map pick? Obviously, are you feeling the comeback, or is the writing on the wall?
I think, in my opinion, it's going to be LBC. I don't think BK are going to have a mental advantage going into this map, even though it is their map. If it had been close on Viaduct, I feel like they would have been pumped for this. But I feel that kind of defeat is just going to suck all of the life out of them. And I think that the dual soldiers of Tech and T-Mac on Granary is just going to absolutely annihilate. I feel like BK are going to have to play a completely different... They're going to have to look like an utterly different team if they want to be able to pick up this map.
Where do you fall on the whole? Are BK going to come back, kaidus, or are they going to... is it just going to be a repeat of Viaduct?
No, I think they can come back. Like, I think Zebo at the moment is probably like... I think they've forgotten Viaduct already, honestly. They're these kind of guys, like, they can get flustered in the moment, but they don't dwell too hard on things. I think they'll be moving on already in their minds. I think it's... they'll just be happy that it was not their map first, and that didn't happen on, like, say, they played Granary first and that happened on Granary. Because in their heads, like, Viaduct was LBC's map, and this is their map, and you know, it counts for something in their minds.
Also, Badlands Decider is really probably about as fair as it can get as a Decider map goes.
Yep.
So yeah, what we have to do is win their home map. So it's far from over. I think the French are having some more internet and technical problems.
When are they not?
As apparently Exxon's router is auto-updating.
Nice, that's cool.
What?
Speaking of Exxon, how good was he on Viaduct? I don't think we really discussed much because I was just so horrified by like the BK stats, but Exxon was pretty incredible, right?
Yeah, he did incredibly well. I think half of it is going to be because the BK team was just letting him do whatever he wanted, but also he had an amazing game. He was playing really well, especially in the first 2 rounds. I think he was just destroying BK. This
moment where he went behind them, at first, I was like...
Oh man, that was incredible.
I was kind of screaming to myself because he forced his part, he forgot the pop, and then he was behind them. He jumped from one kit to the other, which should be like, if anyone was turning around to see where the demo went, they'd see him because he's going from what literally, like, horizontally from one side of the map to the next. So you can't really, anywhere you look, you're going to see him. And then he just kind of strolled in, and I was like, okay, that's kind of lame. And he killed Knutsson, and I'm like, okay, that's a bummer. And this is really stupid by BK. But then, like, the next bits was just pure skill. Like, you can't take it away from him, even though he shouldn't probably have had that situation. When you're in that situation and you do that after you've already killed the medic, which is the most important thing, it's just an incredible play. Regardless of how kind of outrageous it was that it ended up like that in the first place.
Yeah, BK were kind of butchered into making that decision though, because they'd already lost a few players trying to get Knutsson far enough back so that they weren't forced. And then at the point where they were forced, I think they were in a 4v5 situation, something like that, and they really had to go forwards to try and make something out of the Uber. And so they didn't leave anyone behind to deal with Exxon. I think they kind of just thought if they get enough room away from him, they could deal with him after the Uber charge, but it just went terribly wrong for them.
I don't think they had any idea at all. I think they just got like caught up in the moment, and because like when people suicide at you on Viaduct, they kind of come straight at you. If you pop Uber, you almost expect everything has just died. Like you just expect because everything's committed so hard on you, it's just dead. They just switched off for a second, allowed him to get behind.
I feel like
the rest is history.
I feel like you have to look at like Happy in the situation. I mean, maybe he was dead or something. I don't recall him in the aftermath, but if I'm playing this situation on Viaduct and I'm a demo getting popped, and like I don't know, you just want that one guy who looks behind you. Obviously the demo is going to focus forward. Zebo, Ams, Zappis, they're all going to focus forward. It's this scout who's with the medic that kind of has to be looking around in this situation. I mean, I don't remember now, maybe he was dead, but...
No, he was the one who was in the Uber with Rib. They had a double Uber, and then Exxon piped him at the end of it. He came back in, killed Rib, and then Happy kind of jumped in his face, and he just killed him with a pipe as well.
Like, for Knutsson in that situation, okay, clearly no one knew he was behind, but it's not Knutsson's job to know who's behind, and it's not Rib's job to worry about who's behind in this Uber. Like, Rib's job is to do damage forward, and Knutsson's job is to keep this guy alive. But on this team, with Ams playing the way he is, it's Happy's job. Like, I think maybe they have other ideas, but on any Orthodox team playing this setup with the aggro pocket, it's this pocket's guy's job to worry about this kind of stuff. So maybe he gets unlucky, but either way, the blame kind of has to fall on him for me. But with Exxon, what I found really impressive, which I wasn't expecting, was his defensive play. Like, maybe I'm giving too much credit, but there was he got Ams with a lot of sticky traps, and I know sticky traps, lol, no skill, but it was like kind of 2 or 3 in a row. He was like really reading this guy, catching him, and if you like, if there's a suicide wave coming in, and the first guy dies to a sticky trap, it changes a lot. Like if it's like the guy, because that guy, his team is counting on him to take the eyes and kind of let other people get in easily, and if he's just dying to a sticky trap instantly, it's 2 or 3 extra guys that are looking at the next guy. You know what I mean? So it's kind of...
Especially the situation you die. If you die to a sticky trap, you don't turn anyone's heads at all, because no one has to change direction, no one has to change focus. Yeah,
you're dead before you're even a nuisance, so... I don't know. Exxon deserved a lot of props, I think, for that map.
Yeah,
so
I mean...
sorry. I'm just going to
go on Sideshow.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a problem with the triple cast, all tripping over each other. Although it worked out fairly well.
It's a problem with your brain. I'm just sitting here quietly, mostly.
It has been mentioned before that I may have a problem with my brain, so I'm not going to rule that one out. If you have just joined us, this is the ETF2L Premiership Playoff semi-final between Knutsson Rollerbladers and Berrichonne de Châteauroux. This is map 2, this is CP Granary. We're going to be going live fairly soon. LBC managed to pick up the first map, Viaduct, in a very convincing fashion, 3-0. And hopefully Knutsson Rollerbladers are going to be able to win this map. This is their choice, and we will be going to a third map, Badlands, if that does happen. The winner of this will be going into the final to face Uber Sexuals on as yet undecided maps. So stick around, we're going to be here for a long time. As well, we still have. I feel like I said that with maybe a negative.
Like you're apologising. I'm really sorry, guys. And we're gonna have to bring you a bunch more action.
A bunch more amazing action. That's going to be probably the best stuff that we've seen all season. I'm really sorry.
Our apologies here from Team Fortress TV for bringing you all this relentless action.
I can only apologise. Hopefully, it'll go to as many maps as humanly possible, so that I can be ultimately sorry.
Double overtime, triple golden cap.
That would just be the most amazing thing in the world. We have gone live though, and yes, team comms a great idea as we go to this first middle.
I'm a bit slow, so delay a bit.
Delay, Sebasai.
I'm not gonna delay here.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna delay.
We're good, we're good.
Demo right side. You didn't take a med pack yet?
That's good.
Ready?
Let's go.
Coming left now.
Solo top right.
Our kit, I can't get in. I'm through.
I'm pushing right.
Slow down.
I'm on point.
Nice.
Scout
Nice,
right.
nice.
Their med pack is still up if you want to take it.
They're one man down. Someone
They
crash.
want
They're
to
gonna pass.
RR. It's 5.
I'm pushing through ramp.
Yeah, they're 5. They want to RR.
Oh.
Well, let's just re-add our then.
Intense.
Well, a very intense RR that we just got the team comms for. Oh, that's just so typical, isn't it? Okay, so Tech again having more technical difficulties.
Oh, punk counter. I
So,
really enjoyed the bit where it was. The worst part was what an interesting situation it was, because as they were re-pushing mid, Rib was flanking them, and all this, I think it was her P left and Knutsson. All they needed to do was delay for Rib to come in and deal massive damage, and then we started again.
An unfortunate situation.
So yeah, what are they talking about then? I heard Board's name mentioned in chat.
Oh, interesting. Oh, right,
I don't know
see.
if they're
So,
planning a substitution, as I believe they say in
wow,
French.
this will be really interesting though, because if they get to the point where they are bringing in boards to play pocket for them, and then the momentum's completely flipped, then it could be phenomenal. Like, it could completely change who goes into the grand final,
It's huge.
just based off some technical difficulties.
I would argue Board would be better in this team than I've seen him do in eShock, but Tech is Tech. He's an absolute monster and way smarter than people give him credit for. And Board, whilst he's quite renowned for his DM, I think is probably about as smart as people give him credit for.
I think it might work just because the way Tech tends to play pocket is, you know, stand next to ball, look after him. Board can fulfill that role. He might not have, you know, the kind of, I guess, finesse of Tech and that little bit extra. It really depends. I guess the only problem is, obviously, these games are the most important. You could do with every little bit extra you can have.
Yeah, definitely. It's the one game of the season, surely, where they do not want to be playing with a Merc, a sub, that surely they've never really played with Board before as well. I mean, they're all part of the same community, this French community, the Belgian community, that play with each other all the time, but in a real team situation, I'm sure that they haven't played with Board that often.
Should we try the team comms again?
Let's go for the team comms again.
Oh.
This mean is better for us now. It's buff too.
Yeah, it's better for us now. Ruby's faster too.
Demo right side. Demo
in.
forward. You took the med pack.
We're coming in now.
Solid right.
Slamming right.
2 seconds, 3 seconds our kit again. Solid top right.
Solid 100.
Stick is blown.
Solid
Courage.
weak.
Medikit right side.
Campus.
One solid
Demo
down.
took 50 right.
Scout on me. Scout on me. Scout their ramp. Scout their ramp.
Got a 100.
Scout
Solid
their
right.
ramp, maybe top.
Nice. Demo right.
Nice.
Demo's pushing right.
Demo scout. Nice.
Demo right still.
Where is he?
I'm not
Where's
Yeah,
he?
he's right side.
Corner,
He's right
corner.
side, right corner.
He's going in now.
He's going in.
He's down.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. Get a second. We don't have. Well, that's a little bit better. You could hear the encouragement coming back to them as they went through the mid. Better than that solemn round we had well by a duct.
Yeah, they really seem confident, and they feel like they've got a plan. Does that sound strange? But I feel like they've really got a game plan that they're trying to execute here, especially on the mids. They have Ubered in, they've come in from the right-hand side. Rib's going to take this Uber along with Hairpy and Zebasai. They're taking everybody in this, but they've flashed the Uber around so much that Flip's been able to make use of that by picking up Rib, and AMS kills himself. Zappis goes down. It's not going to be enough though, as they do pick up that first round off the back of a very strong mid where they managed to wipe LBC.
Yeah, I think Zebasai got a free man there in that final push. Like, it looks a little bit kind of hit and miss, you know, sort of basically taking a while to finish for frags, and then Zebasai just sort of kept pumping out those meat shot, finishing stuff off. And now we're off to another mid. Let's see if Rib can give them, again, such a strong advantage. Beating the other demo man to the health pack by a country mile right there. Forcing Exxon to go down this far side. Rib's got so much, he's got complete control of the health pack. He's got pipes above him as well. Damage has been dropped. Here come the rest of the BK team forward. Board just to get a frag on Zappis, but now they're going to lose their soldiers. One of them at least. The other soldier's going to try and come in, but Board, bit of a weird decision there to go in solo. Rib doesn't really get anything done at all, and Flip and Ball are having to run away, but Rib's coming flying in. He's stickied off the entrance. Ball's going to have to try and run it. He takes sticky damage and sets it up for a Zebasai 2k to add to his middle 2k. Zebasai on fire right now.
Yeah, Zebasai's going absolutely huge, and he's been given all of this room to work with. Just Zappis is making such a distraction, and they know exactly where LBC are going to be on the mids. And then once they've had to deal with Zappis and AMS going in, they've just got Zebasai and Hairp fully buffed, streaming forwards with Rib, and they just crush them every time. Another push coming in here on the left-hand side. They're going to be using their Uber pretty early again. Flippy's going to be running a defensive sniper, but not really caught anything yet. Hits a body shot onto Zappis, I think. And this push not quite going as well as the previous one, but they are managing to drop a lot of LBC players. Board does go down at the end there as well. A headshot rings out onto Rib, but it's not going to be enough to defend the point. 2-0 already, CX.
Yeah, coming flying out of the gates right now. Again, we see this with Granary, like strong dominant mids. You keep your medic alive, you kill the other medic. Pretty easy, really, if you just hit your shots and don't drop the U-bench, just roll it all the way through to a last. And Rib has been so dominant, made it so easy for his team. Exxon really needs to do something different. Right now, Rib here again first. I imagine, is Exxon going top? Was he just holding bottom right with both scouts come out top? Exxon just playing really defensively as LBT throw both soldiers all over Knutsson. Knutsson dies for the first time on one of these middles. Now BK just have to try and go aggressive with what health they have remaining. They get on top of people with nice defensive pipes from Exxon's going to finish him off. Zebasai is still in, but he's really not in much of a position to do much from here. Traps on low health against buff scouts. He 2 shots flipping! Wow! Zebasai just won't quit. Just when it looks like all hope is lost, he turns around and gets a big 2-shot. But it won't really make much difference in the bigger picture, as Knutsson only spawns just now.
Yeah, Rib has got some stickies up on second, but they're not going to tag Exxon for anything. They have a huge Uber advantage here, Bool, and the rest of his posse. They're going to be facing a defensive sniper and a defensive heavy from Zebasai and Hairp, respectively. They have their own sniper, though, to try and make something happen. I think that's an interesting play, not exactly what I would have gone with. I would have been trying to get 2 scouts. They've Ubered out this right-hand side. Exxon's just been caught in the air by the heavy, though, and gets absolutely destroyed. And now Bool's going to get caught by AMS. Surely Flip trying to help him out desperately as Board goes forward, but things are just crumbling here for the French team.
Yeah, he's a big difference right there as the chase is on. Scout going really aggressive, all desperately trying to run away, but Rib's got his back. The Scout's going to try and wrap behind him there, but Zappis has the angles covered. And you just see a massive difference right there, sort of. BK get 2 of these like clear Uber advantage situations on last.
Exxon put the Exxon dropped the medic. Exxon got a 2k there, the scout and the medic who's laying down that sticky trap, and I just watched them as they walk towards it, and he just destroys them. That's put LBC in such a good position to move forward.
We were just talking, just to finish what I was saying, but you saw LBC messed it up, but Knutsson with the amateur mistake through the shutter door. Never go first through a shutter door as medic. And now they're going to get this time on CP2. They're taking their time about it, they can't get spammed back. But with that heal advantage, it's just a matter of time before they have an opportunity to push last with Uber. Kaidus, what do you make of what we've seen so far?
I think Rib has been absolutely incredible, exactly what he needed to do. He's playing the kind of mids that other demos can only dream of at the moment. That sticky trap drop was kind of the stuff that nightmares are made of, though, honestly. I think maybe they're getting a bit too hyped and talking too much with Ubers coming in, so take it away, boy!
Yeah, there they go. Lots of pressure on Knutsson. Knutson's going to go down. Zebasai gets a headshot on Exxon, but they've already got a lot of damage out right now. The flank's going to come pushing back in as well. The soldiers rebomb point, but they've sort of sacrificed a lot of their health for that. Scout's going to come in, but Flippy's going to finish him off as well. And 1 round back for LBC.
Yeah, off the back of a really nice mid as well. They played it really well. They know that they can't get in at the beginning, and like Kaidus was talking about how... Well, Kaidus and you were both talking about how Numlocked would play middle against Rib, and they'd go really slow and get buffed up, and then they'd push out. And I feel like that was really what LBC were aiming to do. They were aiming to really come out without really contesting Rib at all at the beginning, and it worked well for them, so we'll see how they manage it again.
Yeah, going into this next middle, Rib again earlier, but that soul job aggression coming on him really early. Zappos is going to go down. Exon's going to try the bomb. We've seen this one before. All over Knutsson, sets it up for the medic frag. Now the counter aggression comes out from BK. They lose Exon. There's a scout on them as well. Big shots onto board. Medic's in a lot of trouble, down to 20. Looks like AMS wants to keep chasing, but I'm not sure if he can get to Bull from where he is. He jumps into 2 scouts. Rib's going to go in as well. He's damaged both scouts, but he's on so little HP. Overextension there from Rib. I think Bull was too far out to really get picked off. They will pick up middle, but they're facing an instant repush with uber advantage from LBC.
Yeah, and LBC are definitely going to be able to pick this up. Great play from Flip and Flippy just sticking together with Bull, but now Zebaside's got in. There's a bit of a distance in between Bull and his pocket scouts, but Zebaside just can't make the most of it. Couldn't hit his shots in a crucial situation, and now Zappos is going to get destroyed. I mean, he does get out, which is ridiculous, but he couldn't even get in, so...
I was about to say, was he ever in to begin with, really? Does it count as an escape? As Rib gets T-Mac sort of easy entry frag of Aroma. They just need to buy time right now, BK. Knutson's almost got his charge up. They can just go for the Uber exchange in this, and it looks like despite T-Mac's death, they think they might still have an advantage. Bull goes down to 8 HP, just about gets some pop-off before going down. Board's going to try and take it in deep, and he just meets 2 scouts. The scouts are trying to dance away from his damage as the Uber comes in from behind. AMS is just cleaning the frags up now. Going to get 2, well, Zebaside steals it, but AMS did all the hard work. Now there's another soldier in. Knutsson will go down to board. I guess this is a little bit more what we expected to see, sort of just crazy DM fights all over the place. And the numbers advantage is greater for BK, and we're going to try and roll this into mid, but they will be walking into a healed spawn wave from LBC.
Yeah, BK might be able to take off this mid before LBC really are in a position to contest, but they're going to find it difficult if they commit too hard to it. Ripping a sick air shot onto T-Mac, and T-Mac gets finished off there by Hair P. Bull does go down as well. AMS and Hair P combining together to take down that French medic. And now the heal advantage in favour of the Swedish and Finnish team, as they're able to repush into mid. But Exon doing a ton of damage, combining with Board. They do take down Knutsson and Rib together. Hair P gets flanked from behind by Flippy as well. And BK were just caught in the worst position ever. I think they were anticipating LBC to kind of fall back. They'd set themselves defensively, waiting for that first initial aggression. It hadn't come, so they'd moved forward, and then they just did not predict the Frenchies going aggressive when they were about to go into ramp room, and they got crushed.
Yeah, I think they're expecting more of a players to hide for a pick or something, a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more of a passive attempt to force Knutsson or to pick Knutsson. And they just went straight for it and caught with their pants down, and now BK find themselves on last right now, and LBC with an opportunity to tie it up. And they have an Uber advantage, but it's only 10%, so it's going to be difficult for them to get a lot done with this, especially with that defensive heavy from P.
Yeah, do you think they really need to get anything done with it? I'm anticipating them to sack Flippy in, try and get a force, and if that fails, they'll just switch him over to Sniper, I think. They're in a 2-1 situation, they're holding Granary second. It's a very defensible position. Oh, they get the pick that they need, though, just by Zappos throwing his own body in there. T-Mac does go down in reply, but Knutsson gets minced.
That's tragic.
Oh, what was the percentage there?
95, but he was disconnected for a little bit, and he literally just, like, out of the incredible amount of open space with Granary last, he literally put himself in the worst possible position he could be for a soldier bomb. Right on that ramp, walking in a straight line, right next to a wall. Just made it easy for Board, 95%. Doesn't get the Uber. Another
it's a tale of tragedy.
Knutsson. We're going to the next mid. Hopefully Rib's mids can kind of pull this back a bit. Rib again, just embarrassing Exon to mid right now. Gets early damage on the scouts, early damage on the soldier. Rib has just pretty much just shut out an entire team from mid, almost single-handedly, with a little bit of scout spam.
Yeah, they denied the soldiers really well though, that mid as well. The soldier coming out the bottom right through the ramp room was T-Mac, and he got obliterated when he tried to jump there. He did manage to escape, but as we saw with Zappos before, he never really got in. So BK managed to pick up that mid without actually killing anybody, but they completely got all the position. And now we're seeing a very odd situation straight after the mid. Normally you have at least a few picks that you can then build some momentum off, but because LBC just got out of that mid without really losing anybody, we're in an Uber v Uber stalemate again.
Yeah, kaidus, what are you making of sort of, on mids obviously BK are very dominant, but outside of that they seem to be struggling a bit.
Yeah, I feel like their scout setup isn't really quite right for the task at the moment. They have 2 scouts coming top, and both of them are just worrying about not taking damage from Rib. Like, they have no one else for Rib to think about. Rib can stand on the point without like escort, just spamming top, and they really need to like put some pressure on him. Just one scout going bottom left or bottom right and just putting some pressure, not even committing, just a little bit of pressure. It stops him from spamming so many stickies there and lets them in. But there is going to be an Uber trade now.
Yeah, Knutsson's going to get forced from a sort of stray soldier. Meanwhile, AMS was picked off, forcing the other Uber. Defensive positioning right now from BK is going to invite LBC in, and Exon's bomb is coming in. Knutsson's dodging forward and actually baits to be a pick onto Exon. Nice work from Knutsson there. And LBC just are going to turn tail and run right now. There is a player maybe coming behind. I don't think the scout's going to be there in time. The scout might get picked. There's a scout from the other angle. I don't know if BK are overcommitting here right now. They lose Zappis, they lose P. Zebersai sneaks away. Looks like Rib wants to keep going, but now there's a scout and medic. Rib needs to hit this pipe, and he does indeed. Soldier's going to come in. Knutsson down to 5 HP before he gets the health back. So close to going down, but instead his team arrive. They're going to pick forward. They're going to try and chase it all the way onto Bull. Soldiers in the air, down to 14 HP. Bull will survive. The aggression's still coming forward. Rib links up with his scout to take down Exon. Bull's still only on 30 HP, and I won't be surprised if Knutsson wants to take this straight in and pressure Bull some more. They could probably get the force out because Bull's still weak.
Yeah, and there's going to be no stickies on the door because Exxon's still got 5 seconds until he respawns. It would be a great opportunity here for BK to push, but they're going to be pushing into a sniper. Can Flippy get a headshot here that'll turn the tide of the battle, flip the momentum?
Low.
No,
no, they pop through the door. Holding on to that Uber for a while right now, but now they need to get the frag. Zappis down. Rib will surely go down as well. Exxon getting a frag, and BK just... I guess, I don't know if they just lost track of the Ubers, maybe they thought they could pick Bull, but they just they played it like they had Uber advantage, went really deep, and ended up losing way too many players. And now the scout's going to try and challenge him here, but it might be a bit of a mistake from P. Zebersai's peeking the other door, but he's really low. Flippy's going to pick him off. They did get a forward spawn wave, so they might still hold on to Yard, and there's a huge spam exchange on this door. Rib coming out trumps, Exxon in a lot of trouble, going to kind of bounce it away. Rib still pumping out damage, AMS will go down. Lots of damage players on both sides, and BK are trying to force the issue right now, but Zappis is going to go down. Not sure about BK's commitment to that fight when they had such little health left.
And now they've got both the soldiers down. LBC can push with no risk of being forced here. Zebersai looks like he wants to go forward though. He might get stuck in this ramp room area, but it's going to be T-Mac who tries to make some room. And the scouts just harassing and harassing from BK, really trying to slow down LBC. They don't have their demo man with them still, but Flippy does get another pick onto AMS as he's dancing around behind them. So Flippy going to make a lot of room for his team as he engages Zappis and Zebersai. He does eventually get picked up, but LBC not really making the most of that. They don't try and push in whilst BK were distracted. They're just content to sit in yard. It's 2-2 the situation at the moment, Uber v Uber, and they're content that BK aren't going to push with this one scout advantage. But it looks like Zebersai's going to run in, absolutely mince T-Mac on the flank.
Yeah, that forces the Ubers to be exchanged. Rib's pretty deep here, and Ford's trying to do some work, but he can't really get a lot done, and this should probably cue a Reaper straight away from BK, and LBC are expecting it. They've already turned tail and run. Lots of damage onto Bull from Rib, though. Rib's putting out so much damage onto that combo. Bull's really weak, Scout's going to come in. They're all coming in, but they're all on that point, taking so much damage. Pipes are being... But P's there. P's going to finish off one frag. He's going to pressure the demo. He's going for the medic now as well. Exxon will defend his medic, and now he's got backup from T-Mac. Scout still in. Knutsson and Rib trying to dance around. They go down, and instead BK end up sort of wiping off the back of this. The overextension just couldn't finish those frags. They all tried to come through the same door now onto point.
This has happened a few times that BK have really overextended, committed to a fight that they shouldn't have committed to, and are paying for it. And it might be to do with them getting shown up a little bit on the DM side, but it might also be to do with their positioning as well. They are going to lose this midpoint, and they've got a huge Uber disadvantage to contend with as they try and hold yard. But I think if Bull and his posse try and come in here, they're just going to be hoping for a quick force and an escape all the way back to second, possibly last. So we'll see what happens in the next few moments, as it looks like T-Mac, Board, Exxon trying to force their way through this garage area. They are going to be able to get through without being forced. They're trying to get into left yard for free. This is going to force the BK team to drop right back to the second point without an Uber having to be exchanged. They're coming through garage now. Board and Exxon leading the charge. AMS drops down behind to try and get a force, but Board is dropped.
Exxon's going to try and make it through as well, but he's not got the backup and he's just going to give that fight up. And now 94% on Knutsson. There's a scout behind. Zebaside's going to pick 4. That's just kind of rubbing their faces in a bit. If they're going to Uber onto the point, we should clean this up. AMS and Rib combined. There is a scout threat just go behind. Flippy's going behind. They have seen him. Flippy's racing for last. Soldier's going to jump him. Going to land on him straight away. Nice work from AMS covering the back there. But has this opened the door for the block on CP2? Soldier's demo coming in even, but Zappos is on top of that. They do lose a couple of people, but they get the recap. They still have a slight Uber advantage, but there's another player behind now. I think.
Yeah, Flip and Flippy both went behind, so Flippy went for the back cap, and AMS and Hair P blocked him, and then Flip just killed both of them. He destroyed Hair P with a nice little 2-shot while he was on half HP, and then just pistoled down AMS as he tried to contest him. Great play by him, drawing everybody back. A big bomb in here by T-Mac. He's so high up in the air. Gets Knutsson down to 7 HP, but he was just like a meter too low to crater. And he does survive there. That was so close. T-Mac will be absolutely gutted that he didn't get the med pick.
Yeah, while all this has been going on, Flippy's respawned a sniper as well, and with the equal Ubers, I think we've kind of seen what the game's going to be. Saying that, BK are just going to push straight in, but they've not forced ball, and now Exxon's going to get a big full Uber charge to take into this. There are players behind, though. Scout's going to pick off Flippy. Exxon and Flip get 2 with the Uber, but they're kind of surrounded. Really weird position right now. Scout's going to come in from behind, just try and beast it. Both Scouts coming in, and a Soldier. Bull and Exxon just completely caught out, but Flip's behind.
Flip with the back cap.
Yeah, wow. Just when it looked like BK had it all wrapped up with that sort of surround and collapsed onto Exxon and Bull, Flip just sneaks behind, steals it.
Cap points win games, not the frags, not the Uber charges, and Flip knows exactly what to do, manages to get behind them. Let's see what happens as we go into this 6th mid, and see whether Rib can really be as dominant as he has been before. Flip and Flippy both going up top again. Neither of them really munches a sticky this time compared to before, and Board's able to get out of that right-hand entrance. Oh, he does go down to 1 HP now though. The aggression coming out from T-Mac and Exxon. Exxon's bombed in. He's got a 3K. Zebasai, Hairpy and Knutsson all going down to the bombing French demo man. It's unorthodox play, but he's making it work.
Yeah, it looked like that mid just seemed much more of an even mid than we've previously seen. Rib not quite been able to lock it down as much. Kaidus, did you see anything from Rib's play that was different, or did
nothing was different from Rib, but I didn't see where he came from, but a Soldier made it through onto Rib and forced Rib to surf it into the corner, which just opened the door for Exxon and the Soldiers to come in a lot cleaner than we've seen so far. I don't know where the first Soldier came from, maybe from far right, because Rib had eyes on top and left. But he snuck in from somewhere and it really opened the door.
Oh, Rib with the sticky trap just above the point and manages to pick up Exxon and Flip. Yeah, just a really default sticky trap that nobody checked. And they look like they still want to push this 4v6. They were really close to the door. They'll get this pick onto AMS as he tries to escape via lunchbox, but they've got enough time to maybe wait for their spawns. They've got 10 seconds here.
Going with, looks like both Soldiers. I imagine we're going to go deep for Knutsson. 1 rocket on him, both rockets on him. Knutsson really not putting up much of a fight there. They're going to flood in, but they're going to lose 2 players straight away. They're trying to get frags on the flank, but the Soldiers kind of trapped off. The Heavy Scout and Demo Man all trying to pump out damage. There's not a lot of health left. Zebaside's killed 1, but Soldiers going to turn around, but respawning Soldiers in. This Soldier's just equalising around. Eventually Board will go down.
They could have taken that. I swear to God, they could have taken that. But Boole sat back and was firing arrows at the Heavy, trying to take him down, instead of meeting up with a respawning Exxon and Flip, I think it was. And it didn't give them any heals as they came in the left-hand side. And due to how close that fight was, I feel like if Boole had committed some heals onto them instead of going for some ridiculous arrows, I swear, he spent 8 seconds at least firing arrows at that Heavy. He thinks it's ulti-duo.
Well, now there's a Soldier in trying to trade from the sniper. He won't get the trade, but there is a spy going through, and Flip is creeping along, stealth crouching with the cloak and dagger, sneaking up behind. Zappos goes for like a counter pick, and now the spy's uncloaked behind Knutsson. Knutsson always falls for a spy, and he'll fall for this one again. Down he goes. Flip with a backstab. Massive Uber advantage for Bull. The distraction, I guess, that initial sort of aggression, just allowing Flip to get in, get the pick, and now it'd be an absolute, it'd be a huge mistake if they don't convert this. We're going to uber early. Lots of the BK players hiding through. Respawns do come in. The Heavy's going to go down quickly. Rib's now got a load of damage put on him. Here comes the sort of collapse from the players behind. We're going to focus down this medic and scout. But Flippy's got a headshot, and that's going to help open the door. Now there's just one scout, meat shot by Flip, respawning on scout after that spy pick to help him finish this. And LBC take a 2-round lead. 8 minutes left. Team comms?
A great idea.
Yeah, probably.
Let's go right already.
Yeah, go right. I'm going normal, switching to right.
Tense.
Then we're left.
Still his right side.
Scout down.
Coming in right now.
Throw down.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice, Hans.
2 up. Should I speak on me?
Yeah, I'm pushing ramp.
Only X.
Demo
Only
left.
demo.
Watch out for the stickies now.
You know
He's
where he is?
underneath you, he's hiding. Look under it.
Nice
Nice.
one.
That was so dumb from Knutsson. That was such a dumb thing to do. He had so much time
That's
to get out, and
ridiculous.
he's not going to be alive on last now.
Oh, that was so
AMS though on
foolish.
that mid was big.
I feel like every time we switch to the comms, it's just really clean for BK, and we never really get any of this.
We did
There's no content.
Oh, what is Rib doing? Rib's just gone straight in and died. Really, that was weird. What's just happened?
I think maybe they didn't know that they had Uber. He didn't. Knutsson was saying on 90 and wanted to wait obviously to get the charge, and Rib was just ready to go. Like Rib destroying on that last mid. He obviously you saw him. He killed the scout, weakened the other, and then hit an air pipe onto the jumping soldier. Rib is just giving a complete performance at the moment, but one tiny misstep there, just a slight lack of communication.
They're still gonna have time boosters thanks to that sort of the med pick on bull on mid. They're still gonna have an Uber advantage, but they maybe need to focus bull a little bit more than they initially would have. The scout Uber's gonna come in top. Zebasai hits these shots nice and cleanly. Gonna focus down the other soldier now. Here comes Rib. The rest of the players are flooding in onto the point. They've pinned them in right now, but the Uber has been popped. It's all about how many frags right now. Flippy and his other scout.
Exxon, you fool!
Exxon's just going to take himself out of the game there. Both scouts on point. Surely nothing he can do.
He laid stickies on Granary Point, got his Uber charge, it just got taken off him for a second, and he did his own sticky trap on himself. And he flew in the air and just got rinsed by AMS as soon as he
Does
landed.
Exxon have plans later? I mean, he can't play the final. Is he just trying to get out of it? Like
He has brand damage.
Let's go to the next mid. I presume something's going to go horribly wrong since we're not on the BK comms. Rib
Yeah.
again, once again, super fast to middle, going to tag both scouts. He's making it look easy right now. The soldier's going to to come out, Flips already
T-Mac
down.
got destroyed!
Wow!
Wow, T-Mac got rinsed there by somebody. I think it was Rib actually who hit a sick air pipe.
Was it an air sticky? It was insane.
No, it was an air
Oh.
shot. This was a carbon copy of the last mid. So much damage on top, kills the scout, and air pipes the soldier. An even better air pipe this time. Like, literally, this guy is just going fucking crazy at the moment. It's
He's
unreal
making
what he's
up for
doing.
his terrible play on Viaduct by giving us a stormer of a
This is
Granary
his map,
match.
man. Like, Rib owns this map. There is no one that can touch him here.
And
No
Rib's
one.
not going to take the Uber far left. It will be an Uber exchange. Knutsson doesn't quite have it yet. They're going to peek around the corner. Stickies. Knutsson doesn't know. Maybe he does know. Rib's still pumping out damage. And I think Knutsson's gone a different way. He's gone top. They faked him out. They're going to drop down. Knutsson's going to meet up with Rib. He's going to save his scout as well. And this is a good exchange. All they need is the damage. Bull's going to have a hell of a time getting out of this one. He's making it last a while. Down he goes. Rib to claim that one. And now they just need to play with heals. This should be comfortable for BK. Focusing down the scouts. They lose one, but it shouldn't make any difference. BK going to get back on the point. 4-4. 5 minutes left. Should we go to team comms?
If we go to team comms, you know they're going to win the mid. Let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
Deal with this. Yet.
They're probably gonna go Bono right this time with soldiers.
Yeah.
They did
They're
that
not
last time.
Yeah, no,
No, they were
they can,
soft.
but they got shit on him and they can fight, so it's fine. Dumping a high jump from right again.
I don't know the demos. Demo's left.
Scout
Jumping
right,
in-
soldier right.
jumping
Yeah.
in now.
100 right side.
Got it 40 top.
Sorry,
So they have it in there.
Got weak, right, point,
So the Conde left.
They're going for Rib, they're going for Rib.
down.
Nice.
Double jump.
Demo
So
down.
that. Scout on me left.
Demo
They
down.
hit me. I need a kid.
Only medic, only medic.
Only medic.
I'm pushing around.
Nice.
They literally all focus Rib, and it still didn't work. He
Rib-
still survived the
Rib
whole
hit
thing.
another sick air shot as well onto board. He absolutely destroyed him.
And then he surfed away on 1 HP, got the health back, and continued to stay alive and meet up with Knutsson. just
Man,
effectively baiting out the entire plan.
He's having an incredible game so far, and he's keeping BK in this. This is the comeback from BK that they really needed. They're going to be able to take this last, surely. Bull on 75% does go down. They're getting frags left, right, and centre, but Rib has been taken down. It shouldn't really matter. BordenX on the other ones left alive. It'll be a miracle if they're able to block this. And Bod does get the frag on Zebasai at the end there, but not enough. 5-4 the scoreline in favour of BK. We're going to our 10th middle, and we still have 3.5 minutes remaining, and it looks like it'll be going all the way down to the wire here.
Yo, it was interesting on the last mid. The scouts finally switched it up. Like, one is doing the winger jump to go to the crates now to avoid this Rib damage, but Rib is just such a complete player, it doesn't even matter. But it seems like LBC are finally clicking on what they have to do on this mid, but Rib was so clutch that it didn't matter, but sooner or later the cracks are going to come.
Again, we're going to see both scouts going bottom left this time. I'm not sure if they're just going to rush Rib. No one's covering it. Rib's in so much trouble right now. Both scouts behind. The old school just run bottom strat. And now the T-Mac bomb comes in, going to open up 2. They seem to have read this a little bit more, but AMS is getting Xon, and AMS is still pretty healthy behind. Bull's on a lowly 30 HP. In comes the Soldier. Nice rockets from AMS. Can't finish him though. He's going to surf away. He's going to try and surf to the health pack. He'll get the health pack. He's going to keep jumping around. Eventually Flippy will get him down, but Bull was able to get help and stay alive. And now we're going to see LBC with a full Uber advantage. And Kaidus said the cracks were going to show, and bottom left was wide open.
I'm surprised it took so long, honestly. Like, when you think Granary, you think Rib, and you know what he does. Like, I can't believe they sent 2 scouts top for so long when it's like such an obvious fix to the problem. Like, I mean, it doesn't cover everything, as you saw on some of the mids where Rib's still just so good, but I mean, tactically, it's the right decision.
Flippy's going to rush
in. Flippy just ran
Trades
in.
with Zeb the sniper.
Yeah, kills Zebasai. I think he's just trying to get a respawn onto Sniper here. He's just throwing his own life away, but BK are gonna... They're going to be holding this with their own heavy, and they look like they're going to be able to hold this fairly well if they can get the Uber out of Knutsson.
Exxon's on him now, though he's trying to hit pipe. Knutsson's thinking about going for a slice. He should just meet up with his players. Herpy's done a good job of cleaning everyone else up. Scout's coming into Knutsson now, 20 HP on him, but rockets won't land. The Scout is dancing around everyone. Flippy giving a bit of a masterclass here on movement. Flip's going to arrive. Flippy and Flip are taking it into their own hands. Flippy made both soldiers simultaneously look a fool there.
Oh my god,
point.
a minute and a half remaining. We're going into our final round, 5-5. This is ridiculous. Do we go to the comms, or are we just dooming LBC if we do that?
Yeah, 2 scouts come left.
We do normal.
Should I play 4? Did I scout? No, fuck it.
Normal.
Them right side, them right side.
Tapping in 3.
He did not take medpack.
Tapping in
Scout,
now.
jump, Flip.
Coming in now.
Got down.
Tapping that corner.
Soldier right side.
There's only launch right. On
Solid that corner. Last back.
Dead.
I took out
Pull
our
down.
kit.
I just follow back right yard.
I'm pushing right side.
Help,
Six,
Sebo,
you can
Sebo.
do it.
Medic's weak. Demo's weak.
I'm right side.
Stay
hiding.
right,
Only
Demo,
Demo is sliding
right,
down.
36 health.
You took 35.
It's 35.
Oh, you
said.
They eventually get Exxon.
30 seconds on the clock.
Meal of it, yeah. 30 seconds left. They're going to have to go for this last. They will have a full Uber advantage. No sniper coming out from Flippy. They just fancy. They're just going to try and use the cookie cutter defense. Here they come. 20 seconds on the clock. They need to get these frags, and they need to get them efficiently to make this work. They're going to walk in. Knutsson's still not popped. He's going to save his players now. Saves his soldier. They lose Zappis. Scout separated. They could do with some time on the point.
5 seconds remaining.
Stacking the point. Soldiers on the point. Medic's coming in with the saw. It's a 1v1.
Oh my god! Ridiculous play there. Flip just managing to get it in the final second. That was ridiculous, and we are going to be going to a golden cap in our second map. Yeah, this is just crazy.
That's a mistake. They had full Uber advantage. I know that was really exciting finish, but like straight
They waited
up,
too long,
that's a
I
mistake.
think.
They waited
had,
too long.
yeah, they had like 30, what did they have? They had 33 seconds as they finished it, and
Yeah.
then they waited 10 seconds. That's a third of their time that they just threw away, just kind of buffing people up before they went in, and they allowed Exxon to spawn.
Like, it kind of makes sense if they executed the push properly. Like, you get 6 guys, and obviously you can do a push that, like, you will understand everyone has their job, but they didn't do it. They didn't do it properly. The only point presence was from Rib, and you don't want your demo being the one to bait the point, because obviously the idea of baiting the point is you get so much spam in such a centralized location, and all your spam's coming from the demo. So if he's the one going on the point, then something's gone wrong, and that was kind of That was where the crack showed. I mean, it was 10 seconds when the point presence came in, but it came from Rib and he died at that moment. And it was salvageable from there, but obviously it's all about DM, and they gave it to them. Like, they just had to do a little bit more, like, just a little bit more strategy there. Like, either go fast or go properly, and they didn't do either.
Speaking of DM, I've just got the logs up. Rib did 100 damage a minute more than anyone else on the server, and hit 8 air shots as Demo Man. I've never seen
ridiculous.
a Demo Man hit 8 air shots.
And they were all on the mid, and in vital situations where he defended himself. It was absolutely ridiculous. I need to clarify as well, Admirable's just told me that this damage total, the giveaway that we're doing, the competition, is going to include the golden cap. So if you're having a look at the logs now and you've hit the damage right on the head, I'm afraid you've messed up unless there's a 0 damage game coming out right here. We are going to include the golden cap in our competition. So the current damage total you're looking at on the log is not final. The winner has not yet been decided. So just keeping that out there as we look through the log. What else can the log tell us quickly before we go live? I hear one team readying up. 40 frags from Zeberside.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the logs, but these middles have gotten really interesting in the latter half of this game. I mean, they were a bit like kind of random to begin with. It was just Rib dominating, and occasionally they'd get someone onto him, like he'd fluke his way through. But now they've gotten really interesting. The French are countering Rib's play, but what that does is it kind of puts the ball in BK's court, because they know that the French have to try and counter. Like, their default strat's not working. So the question is always he going to roll the dice and just kind of hope that, you know, the odd middle they've won is working? Because if they just try and counter Rib, it's kind of predictable. As you saw last mid, Zeberside went bottom left and just him and Hairpede absolutely crushed the scouts, because that was their solution to Rib in the first place. But
no, there was another mid where, like, I think it was Flippy tried for winger jump onto crates and just ran into both scouts and got double meat shot. As we're going live in this golden cap right now, 5-5 in real time. This round will last as long as it needs to until there's a winner. Rib has been outstanding on his mid so far. LBC will have to deal with him if they have a hope and chance of taking this middle point and eventually the last round. Rib faster to mid. I don't even need to say it anymore, he's beat him so consistently. He's trying to sticky top, going to get some damage on that scan. Soldier Bomb's coming in, not quite as shut down as they previously have been, but Exxon is pretty much sticking out. In comes the Soldier Bomb onto Knutsson. Knutsson will go down, Exxon's going to bomb in as well. He's going to get focused out. Bull is just falling back defensively. Exxon's absolutely stranded right now. He will go down, but Board and Bull do get out safely.
On the chase.
Yeah, so's AMS. They both really want this frag on Bull. Bull is only being defended by one player at the moment. If they push this really hard forward, it looks like Zeberside's actually coming through top. No, he isn't. He's just waiting. I think he was waiting for Bull and Board to kind of get a little bit further forward, but they're not going to commit to this until they have more players. But now they're coming forward. He has been seen though. 4 HP. Only hits him for about 50 damage.
He missed his chance. He waited too long. It's too obvious a spot to stand there, don't you think? Like, if you're going to go, you just have to kind of go when the door opens and just, like, surprise them. But you don't surprise them because everyone's checking that spot. Like, I was thinking maybe the fact they didn't have Tech was going to show, because Tech would check that spot every time, but even Board's remembering. Yeah.
Zap is hiding really high as we go into this push as well. Sticky's on top. Scouts going to start to get some point. They're just kind of trying to duke it out here. Zap is just going to go for one. He tries to sink it up. Loads of damage. Not actually. Bull pops in time to prevent most of the damage. But they get the force out and have an uber advantage swing. Rib's taking a lot of pressure from Exxon, though he's forced to take this fight. Rib's trapped in. Rib will go down, and this is going to be devastating for the defensive yard. LBC are going to try and force their way through, but they nearly have Uber. I think that's what they're playing for. They're playing for the Uber. Knutsson so low. He's going to drop 2 people before he finally puts on Zeberside. Zebeside's going to clean 1 scout, but by the time he turns around, the rest of the LBC players have left. And the Uber advantage swings back the other way. That looked like it was going to be absolutely incredible for, I think, was it AMS for Soldier with them and Zeberside? Like, sort of full Uber into a load of players. But they just got separated and dropped before Knutsson can get the charge all the way up.
That's really unfortunate, and it leaves them with a 35% disadvantage. Bull's going to be wanting to use this in, but Zeberside's going to flank them. Zeberside's coming behind. He is onto Bull. Gets him down to 25 HP. Gets the pick. That's exactly what BK needed. And now with them holding second, they're going to be anticipating some counter-aggression here. Flip coming in through that garage area is going to get shut down by AMS. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to be going aggressive.
There's a setup on right yard. There's a scout hiding by forward spawn, and Exxon is baiting for him. Exxon spamming stickies now backing off, and the scout's still there.
Yeah, and they're going to be watching Exxon as he backs off. Hairpede does actually check, yeah, and Flippy is going to be taking this one-on-one before Zappis gets involved. He does get taken out, and they're just shepherding Knutsson towards the mid. No scouts alive for LBC as they make their way into this midpoint. Bull only on 30% advantage, and the momentum shifts in this golden cap already. T-Mac in onto Knutsson. Is going to be able to get him down to 100. Does actually force out the Uber charge, and Bull is going to be able to escape with the other 3 members of his team who are still alive. And that just shifts the Uber advantage in their favour.
Exxon still has stickies on the logs on mid. You know, the famous banning sticky trap.
Yeah.
They're still there. I don't think anything's going to come of them, but it's interesting.
Scout's already through on the far side. He's going to go down, and it's going to open the door for AMS to bomb and get Exxon. He's going to try and focus down the soldier. Zappos has arrived as well, but there's a scout behind Knutsson. He doesn't really do that much damage, but he's just causing a bit of a distraction now. He's delaying it. He's allowing Bull to get all the way back to last, and Bull will have his Uber for last. But they should be able to pick up CP2 for free here, and I won't be surprised if they try and go for maybe a bit of a suicide, throw some people at them before LBC are at full strength.
Yeah, I just feel like LBC there were holding in completely the wrong way. They didn't have enough players to hold really far forward in yard, which is fair enough. But then they try and hold still in yard, but at the back of it, and just get absolutely crushed because of it. They allow BK to get in, and then they're in a terrible position to defend. They didn't drop all the way back to second. They're going to take the supercharge in. Rib's been isolated. He's absolutely been destroyed, and Knutsson goes down.
He dropped.
Did he drop?
He dropped.
Oh my god.
What a
Sticky
crucial...
came around the corner. He looked like he was going to back out, but the sticky just caught him from around the corner.
Oh, what a
soldier
crucial
goes
drop
in.
there.
Bull's down to 4
in from behind as well.
Surely he's going to give a medic pick. Easy for Zebo with a medic's on that low HP. He's going to take on a scout as well, but he gets the health pack. Zebasai can't quite make it a full conversion. They will recap CP2 and they're going to flood forward to mid, but they're going to encounter Rib and Herpy. They have to play this carefully, the Swedish trio. Is that right?
Are there 3 of them?
Swedish trio.
That's a trio.
No, I meant the Swedish part. That's what I wasn't sure about. Not if the trio was 3 people. Rib's going to pipe off Exxon as he tries and peeks through. And Bailey will look like they want to repush this straight away, but it's going to be tough getting into Granary mid. They've taken a lot of damage already. T-Mac and Zappos will trade. Rib will go down. AMS, I think that is trying to open the door for his scout, and he will indeed. And LBC are having to get defensive. Knutsson with a big, chunky Uber advantage, and Exxon will get the forward spawn, which should allow him to at least delay in yard before falling back to CP2.
It's just been a story of flip-flopping Uber situations here. AMS is actually going to go down. It looks like they're trying to get the pick onto Zappos as well. Yeah, they lose flip, but again, 2 scouts. And it looks like they're going aggressive to try and get the force out of Knutsson. Knutsson is going to get forced here, but Bull's only on 60% Uber, and the Uber from BK is going to be able to chase him down. Oh, he tries to get the slice there, but I think Zebasai already had the, still had the last little flash of the Uber charge on him. Flippy in behind, and T-Mac's going to be trying to get onto Knutsson. Knutsson down to 100 health. It's still on 100 health. T-Mac can't quite hit those rockets, and Flippy, I don't know what Flippy's doing.
He's conserving
he's just
life.
backing off, yeah.
I think it was just, I think he lost track of exactly where Knutsson was. He thought Knutsson was quite far back, like Knutsson was about on the ammo pack, and he just sort of cut his losses, kept himself alive. A little bit messy, well, I say a little bit, quite messy indeed, but they do negotiate an Uber advantage out of that. They do have to get into CP2 though, and Exxon is putting a lot of stickies up. The classic stickies above the point.
Shall we have a look at the team comms as they push into the second point?
Pop through the sticky.
Pop through the sticky.
Go, go,
Demos
go,
on
go.
the left. Oh.
Adams went left.
Demos
On the
right,
right
fuck,
side.
Demos weak.
Coming down, nice.
We did medic.
Stay
They go.
Follow
Come on the right side. Go for last.
Go stack the 100.
Carry 30 left.
Solo on me. Window. I'm weak. I'm dead.
Sorry to counter.
I'm getting back to
They
health.
got 90 now,
Too
guys.
weak.
They got 90.
Focus that point. That, other scout.
Nice. Pop. Nice.
Two up, I want Uber.
I can come in from right.
Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
I'm coming in from right now.
Yeah, go, 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 go.
Oh, he
Point,
got
point,
that.
point.
So weak.
Nice!
Oh my god, that's the drop. Oh my god, that's...
Wow.
Celebrations from everyone's favourite Scandies. That was big. That was
ridiculous.
What
And
a
that's
game.
only the semi-final second map. We're going to a best of 3 here, CX and kaidus.
Incredible.
So yeah, what do we make of that golden cap? That was really back and forth. That was really interesting. Interesting is probably the least impressive adjective I could have used to describe that.
Yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal. It was just...
There we go.
It was a case of just flip-flopping Uber situations that never... Like, whenever a team had an Uber advantage and looked like they were in a good situation, there would be an amazing play out of the other team, or a Knutsson drop, as they said in the comms there at the end, just to completely reverse the situation, and eventually BK managed to push it all the way to last. Good God.
Wow, yeah, I'm almost lost for words. I don't know, yeah. AMS putting up big stats in the, what do you call it?
Golden
The logs for the golden cap. Yeah, really interesting. I don't know, Kaidus, you're the one with the brain here. Say something smart before I stop me babbling on.
Okay, so that's pretty intense. Tactics kind of went out the window, as you saw, but there was some really nice awareness, actually, that I was seeing. For Hair P, I remember the specific instance. I remember the scout hiding by forward spawn as they were pushing out of 2. Hair P obviously checked that spot, and obviously that's a really small thing, but in a golden cap like this is a really, like, it's a crucial detail, especially when your medic's Knutsson and can drop Uber at the drop of a hat. Yeah, that was kind of the story of it. I mean, again, there was just kind of this very bizarre situation. Like, we saw 2 situations, in fact, where BK were backing up. Like, they were sitting on 80, 90, and they backed up, and there was just not proper team cohesion, but the players left alive seemed to make it work every time, specifically on mid, when LBC were pushing to mid, and they were just about to get Uber. Knutsson, I wouldn't say drop 2 people, because it was kind of his team was all over the place, and he would be dragged really out of position to keep them all alive, but he Ubered, I think, Zebasai. It was either Zebasai or Hair P. Either way, whichever scout that was deserves huge credit because he didn't frag the med, but he cleared the way. And in fact, it was both scouts actually. One scout was caught out of the Uber. I thought they were going to Uber both scouts, but Hair P was caught behind the Uber and fragged Exxon, who jumped in aggressive. Meanwhile, Zebo took the Uber and cleared out ramp room and basically made way for his team to come in, eventually killing up Bull, which was just before the Knutsson drop. So it was kind of a crucial stage of the map because it got BK into a position where they were attacking last. They never actually got to push last properly because of the Knutsson drop. But once you have a team kind of hovering around their last point between last and second on Granary, it's a really nice position to have them in. Even if your medic drops, it's still very difficult for a team to come back from that position. So I felt like that play was really, really crucial.
Yeah.
Maybe. Give me something, guys.
I was like, I'm just listening, I'm paying attention.
He's learning.
Down notes. I'm learning, yeah.
CX has just got a folder full of little comments that Kaidus has made, and he just trawls through them before every game to try and find a corresponding piece of wisdom that he can then build up his game.
Yeah, I've been writing down that rib strategy for kill one scout, give the other scout a half, and then hit an air shot. Seems to be the best way to play Granary middle, so I'm going to work on that. What I did find interesting is right at the end, like that final bit where BK eventually got over that last hurdle and capped the last point. Did Bull have Uber? Like,
yeah, he did. He dropped.
But he dropped
people.
2 people. Did it actually drop him, or was he just not at charge yet?
He had charge. I was watching Rib fall back. I didn't expect the situation to play out as it did. Like, I had my eyes on Rib, who was weak falling back, and I kind of thought whether Rib got out alive or not would be crucial. But it turned out to not matter in the slightest because they all just went aggro. They went for the force. Knutsson was calling 90. He was wrong. They were on 100, but close enough that it made it instigated the same play. Go and force the medic. Or go and kill the medic, go and force the medic. It didn't really matter because Bull ended up dropping half his team, but it's a
Both
real
scouts, yeah.
Yeah, it's a real mistake because I mean I wasn't watching Bull. Maybe Sideshow you saw if Bull dropped them or if they were just like absent from the right position. Because like I say, Knutsson dropped a lot of people on mid, but it's hard to blame the medic and call it a drop when they're so out of position. Like, you can't really blame a medic for that.
Yeah, I don't think it was really Bull's fault. They were in a position where possibly they could have all clumped together and got the frags, and maybe he could have saved one other person, but the aggression was coming in so quickly from BK that they were kind of split up and weren't in a position where Bull was really able to save everybody.
But it's a real mistake from LBC though, because it's kind of like, it's bread and butter TF2. If the other team's pushing last, you frag their medic, and then the fight breaks down. Like, I don't think there's a real, a TF2 player that wouldn't expect a big play for the medic here, and when you have Uber and their medics down, it's basically a free Uber. Like, if they're going to sack players on you, all you need to do is pop, keep your guys alive, and frag the aggro players, and then you get a free TP2. It doesn't matter if you lose 10% Uber advantage or something like this, as it probably would have turned out. So, the scouts dying there, it was a real misstep from them. Like, they kind of cost their team that fight.
Yeah, and definitely if they had stayed alive, if they'd been in that Uber, they would have been able to clean everybody up. It was just because it was a bored Uber at the end that he was unable to really make anything work.
He was hung out to dry. He did the best he could.
It was nothing bad about him or his play. And I thought he played actually a pretty decent game. He filled in for Tech fairly well.
Yeah, he did.